Welcome to EPG Pathshala. Today we see that everywhere around us it's media, it's technology. Anything and everything that you see today is all surrounded by real-time conversation. Just a minute ago, anything that happens, we get to hear about that either through the mobile media or through internet and through various other gadgets. Have you ever pondered upon the fact that how is it actually happening or how is it actually possible? Well, this is nothing but the revolutionized version of technology. Yes, bringing the world closer and cutting down all the edges and issues that we once had in before 1990s when the technology was absolutely just being introduced in various parts of the world. But today when we see technology, it has revolutionized each and every aspect of human dimensions. Today, when we talk about any information that we get right away, be it in India, be it anywhere in abroad, we have it right away with the mobile media or through cable networks. Well, that is nothing but the synchronous media. Whereas, certain kind of information or communication that takes place after the event is over is nothing else but asynchronous form of communication. Today, in this particular module, we shall be focusing and highlighting on various aspects of synchronous media as well as asynchronous media. E-learning is of two types, online learning and offline learning. Online learning means the learning process that takes place by using computer that is connected to the internet. Internet is an electronic communication network that connects computer network and organizational computer facilities around the world. The internet consists of the collection of billions of interconnected web pages that are transferred using HTTP and is collectively known as World Wide Web. If you want to surf the web using browser, that is, move from page 1 to another page or move from page 1 to another website, then you have to be online. Thus, online education includes three things. 1. A form of distance education. 2. A computer-based learning. 3. A many-to-many communication through an internet. Now, let us understand the advantages of online learning. First, choose only subjects of interest. General learning courses can't normally subdivide into minor courses, giving more choice to learners. Because of rather high cost of organizing each learning program, it is not worthwhile often organized learning. In addition to tele-education, could reduce problem of different basic knowledge among learners because they could specifically choose a subject of their own interest. Number 2, receive correct and interesting instruction. Tele-education gives each learner substance of lessons identical in all respect with the original undistorted through transfer. Every time each learner calls up substance of same lesson, the system will demonstrate the same information to all the learners. Thus, learners could feel confident on the maximum reliability of the substance of lessons received. Furthermore, presentation involving a variety of forms because computers that could support learning and teaching with lettering, imaging, video, sound, etc. could also be made more interesting through online learning. Moving on to the third advantage, it encourages interaction with other e-learners and other e-instructors. Chat rooms, discussion boards, instant messaging and email all offer effective interaction for e-learners, and they indeed do a great job of taking the place of classroom discussion. Building on an online community significantly influences the success of online programs. Next point, easily managed. Yes, as the number of students enrolled increases, managing all of their activities using online mode of education is quite easier and cheaper. The learners can be distributed course materials online. Also, the process of conducting the examinations or managing the profile of each candidates, including their fee details, etc., can be made easier using e-learning environment. Next, integrating media and interactivity. E-learning software provides the benefit of integrating media with interactivity. Various kinds of audio, video, graphics, multimedia, animation effects could be included within the course material that enrich the content and make it more appealing to the learners. Benefit of integrating media with interactivity provides a very useful edge to e-learning domain as far as the field of imparting education and training is concerned. Next, reduce faculty workload. Instructors and TAs can also save time using products like online examination management system. When the assessment designer is used to design quizzes or tests, feedback, grading, analysis can be automated. Time previously spent correcting, formulating statistical deviations and analyzing specific questions can be used for other things. Even student records can be exported directly into spreadsheets for turnover to the registrar. In this way, the faculty's paperwork and manual work could be reduced. Next, updated information. Students as well as teachers can access the information and other support materials. Information through online learning can be updated easily, so they are beneficial in terms of updated and latest information. They can face challenges of explosion of knowledge very easily. Next, concrete knowledge. Online learning provide opportunities to gain concrete experiences through simulation, videos, etc. Multisensory instructions made through online learning helps the learner to gain concrete understanding of the topic. Next is active learning. Online learning ensures the participation of learner in the learning process. Due to the availability of various resources in synchronous and asynchronous mode, online learning provide ample opportunity to learners to be actively involved in learning. Hence, we say that with online learning, the learners are not passive. Indeed, they are active learners. Next, providing immediate feedback. E-learning courses can assist to provide immediate feedback to correct the misunderstood material also. The more immediate the feedback, the better it is, because each step of learning builds upon the previous step. If no feedback is given, then the next step may be building upon an incorrect interpretation. Hence, to provide as immediate feedback as possible, it will be easier to use an online learning resource. Next, global environment. Online learning gives opportunity to students all over the world to be connected through internet. Students are connected through social working, email, etc. This widens their perspectives of students, which is essential for inculcating global citizenship. The teachers as well as the students share their knowledge, their experiences, and learn with students and teachers across the globe. Hence, it's a global environment. Inculcation of social values. Students from different race, creed, community come together in online learning environment. It broadens their viewpoints as well as their opinions. They develop social values like tolerance, patience, cooperation as they become the part of global virtual world. And as we say very correctly, to be humans, we need to have values like humanities. So here also we see the inculcation of social values will help students to become better human beings. Next, and last, automatic marking and reporting. E-learning courses provide you with detailed and up-to-date insight into each learner's progress, which can include the results of every quiz, results of assessments, modules completed or incomplete, and even their progress in terms of fulfilling the different learning objectives. Objectives are specific criteria a user can meet or fail as they work their way through your course. The course could be basic mathematics, geometry, etc., which gives you a greater insight into learners' strengths and weaknesses. So all the above that we have discussed are the advantages of online learning. Now, let us see that the online learning can also be synchronous and asynchronous in nature. We will be detailing about each one now. Synchronous online learning. Synchronous means occurring same time. In synchronous learning, the instructor and the learner interact with each other and the course content simultaneously in real time, even if both are at a distance. In synchronous online learning, communication occurs at the same time between the individuals and information is accessed instantly. Synchronous learning environment supports learning and teaching and offers students and teachers with multiple ways of interacting, sharing, and the ability to collaborate and ask questions, that too in the real-time scenario, and this is possible only through synchronous learning technologies. Synchronous online learning includes the following sources. It could be virtual classroom, could be audio as well as video conferencing. They even include chats, webinars, application sharing, and messaging instantly. Now, having understood what exactly synchronous or the real-time conversation is, let us now understand the resources of synchronous online learning. First one being chat. Synchronous chat rooms allow multiple users to log in and interact with each other. This is a great way to ask questions and to share resources and insights. Next, is video conferencing. A video conferencing can involve a live feed from a classroom, or it could be from anywhere else. Alternatively, the conference might transmit a presentation of slides and graphics with a question and answer session at the end. This is video conferencing. Next, web conferencing. Web conferences tend to be more interactive, and you'll probably be asked to respond to questions like surveys, polls, questionnaires, which will give you a chance to interact with each other. Web conferences usually incorporate chat, and they often have a question and answer session again at the end. Next, resources: internet, radio, or podcasts. When there is not sufficient bandwidth to broadcast live video of an event, instructors might stream the audio over the internet. Good opportunities for audio streaming include concerts, political speeches, etc. Ideally, the audio file would be archived for students to access and review later as well, so the records are maintained. Last resource could be virtual worlds. Educational islands in virtual worlds like the Second Life are wonderful places for students to meet live and to interact with each other. They're ideal for learning languages because it's possible to speak with each other through headsets and through iPhones. It's a wonderful way to practice conversation while being immersed in a virtual place that has the look absolutely like a real country or a culture. While virtual worlds can be very engaging and productive as learning environments are, there's quite a learning curve as you learn to navigate the worlds and to clothe and operate your avatar. Some of the examples that we would discuss here with respect to real classroom scenario are learning through chat. For example, Culm High School in North Dakota has implemented handheld computers and softwares allowing teachers to interact with every student in the room at the same time by creating a chat room-like environment within the actual classroom. Teachers and students interacted via the handhelds throughout the school day. Teachers were able to push out assignments and collect assignments electronically. The administration reported that discipline was better, grades were better, and students were retaining what was taught, according to the scores on the state assessment and online assessment that were conducted twice during that particular year. Now, having understood the advantages, we shall now move further to importance of synchronous online learning. First, student engagement. In addition to video conferences, webcast and telephone conferences, other examples of synchronous technology include virtual worlds and chat rooms. In order to successfully participate in these environments, students must be engaged in student learning, which is the most important learner characteristics that a student can demonstrate. Next importance being synchronous collaboration. In both the traditional as well as the online classroom environment, interaction and collaboration are identified as a major factor in successful learning outcomes. In an online learning environment, the teacher's role becomes more about facilitating, guiding, motivating the learner, and can be successfully achieved through feedback and collaboration. Third importance being instructional pacing. Online learning environments provide flexibility and offer students personalized learning opportunities. Students learning online have the opportunity to express their thoughts without judgment or interruptions. Online learning experiences can be developed to provide advanced educational opportunities for the learning needs of individual students. Next, real-time communication. Very important. Synchronous learning allows students to obtain real-time feedback on their ideas, clarification of their facts, doubts, collaboration with their classmates using small group discussion rooms, for example, chat rooms. It also allows guest speakers to address the class remotely on their own computers, for example, virtual classrooms or video conferencing as discussed above. Next importance, high in motivation and high completion rate. Students who learn using synchronous technologies have very higher motivation and completion rate. That is because they are more technologies friendly and they have a fixed schedule too. Next, interactive. This online method gives students the chance to interact with their virtual classmates as well as their mentor. Live. Synchronous e-learning activities takes place live, which is in the real time. That is, they are not previously recorded, but recorded or pre-produced material may be used during the activity. So all the above are the importance of synchronous online learning. Having understood what synchronous or real-time learning is all about, we now move forward to asynchronous online learning, which is exactly opposite to synchronous online learning. First of all, let us understand what exactly asynchronous online learning means. Asynchronous means not occurring at the same time. Remember, in synchronous we did occurring at the same time, whereas in asynchronous it means not occurring at the same time. It is a type of two-way online communication that occurs with a time delay. It allows both individual of communication to respond at their own convenience. It is the learner in distance in time lag. Asynchronous learning utilizes the time lag communication to deliver the material. It is a type of formal learning in which students and teachers have regular interaction, but the interactions are not in real time. Interactions occur but with the time delay. This delay can be of hours, days, minutes, or even sometimes weeks. Asynchronous online learning includes learning through email, discussion forums, news groups, blogs, self-paced online courses, discussion forums, groups, and messaging boards. Now let us move further to resources of asynchronous online learning. First, virtual libraries or repositories of documents, that is presentations, graphics, audio files, and even videos. Your online course will provide you with instructional materials. They could consist of articles that you download from a virtual library. You may also be asked to download presentations, slides, and illustrative graphics. In addition to the above, you may have instructional materials that consist of video snippets, audio files, and even full-length movies such as documentaries. These are nothing but your virtual libraries. Next resource could be an email. Email is a foundational item in all the online courses. It's a great tool for asking questions, keeping in touch with people, and receiving materials, updates, reminders, and even assessments. Some online courses use email as the main way to interact with your instructors and with your peers. That was about email. Next resource is the discussion boards. Discussion board is another pillar in the online learning structure. It's a great way to respond to questions and to share documents and links. It's also a good place to ask questions as well as to clear up any ambiguities if there's any. Next resource of asynchronous is social networking sites. Many online courses now incorporate social networking in order to enhance collaboration and learner interaction. In many learning management systems, social networking is built into units via embedded HTML scripts. Social networking programs that are often incorporated includes blogs, wikis, Facebook, Orkut, Bebo, Twitter, Flickr, YouTube, Ustream, and many more. Next, wikis and collaborative documents. Collaborative documents allow students to edit each other's work and to collaborate the work thereafter. You'll enjoy seeing how people contribute and you'll feel excited about logging in and adding in your own thoughts and ideas. A wiki is a place that allows you to build a definition or a series of explanations, much in the way that Wikipedia works. You can also add text as well as graphics to the already existing portfolio. The next is e-portfolios. E-portfolios demonstrate your skills and your knowledge of a special topic. They are often assigned as a capstone project in which students combine text, images, presentations, video, audios, links, and a discussion space. Last but not the least resource, that is DVD and CD-ROM. Some courses provide textbooks that come bundled with DVDs for media and media content. These can be real lifesavers where there is slow, limited, or expensive internet connectivity. They are great ways to let students review the materials offline and then budget their online time effectively. So all the above are nothing but these resources of asynchronous online learning, and you may get a knack of it once you use them properly. Let us now take a small example of a blog and how it works. In Tennessee's high school, 9th grade journalism student used blog to publish high school news daily, whereas in the past they published a hard copy newspaper only once or twice a year due to high cost. Now the journalism class is able to do more journalism with modern tools of the trade. That is how blog is advantageous to us. Example of other social networking sites like Wiki. In Perth Amboy High School NJ, that is New Zealand, students collected and conducted tests on water samples for their project. They compiled data electronically and could also exchange the information with various other schools online. Results were discussed on Wikipedias and multimedia presentations were prepared to illustrate the results and conclusions. Before this program was implemented, none of the students received a score of higher than 3. After the implementation, around 30 to 40% students have scored better or even grade higher than 3. Now, let us now move further to what is asynchronous learning. In an asynchronous learning environment, students are able to actively participate in their own learning, giving them the opportunity to interact with their peers, provide peer feedback, and reflect on the status of their personal learning goals and outcomes. In many learning environments, there are learning activities and expectations that require students to create, synthesize, explain, and even apply the content or skills being taught. Asynchronous technologies support learning and allow more time for student reflection, collaboration, and student-to-student interaction. Asynchronous communication and learning is more popular learning type because of the learning tools are free, they require minimal hardware, and are used at the student's own pace. Let us now move further with the importance of asynchronous e-learning. First one being asynchronous collaboration. A sense of community is necessary to sustain the educational experience over the time, and this can be achieved through collaborative learning communities. This facilitation can be successfully achieved through asynchronous collaboration, allowing students to thoughtfully consider learning objectives because they have the time to critically synthesize their learning. Second one being individualized pacing. With these tools, teacher can access what students understand and adapt future course assignment to facilitate a higher level and in fact more in-depth understanding of the content. Asynchronous tools provides a learning space where participants can confront debatable ideas and also faulty thinking in more objective and reflective ways. Third, sharing of information. In asynchronous learning, participants may engage in the exchange of ideas or information without the dependence of other participants, involving at the same time. Students can have an access to pre-packaged training based on requirement and convenience. Next importance is flexibility. Asynchronous learning allows participants to post whenever they want to and saves the posting so that the individual participants can view them later in case of any convenience. It fits into everyone's schedule. E-learning. In fact, many people take online courses because of their asynchronous nature, combining education with work, family, and other commitments. Next importance is overcomes geographical barriers. It is an ideal delivery mode for individuals in different geographical location and time zone and when their work schedule is busy. Next, it is effective. It is more liberal because all participants have an equal opportunity to contribute, and those who have trouble in speaking up due to the language differences can easily take up this form of learning. Next importance is a thoughtful consideration. Asynchronous e-learning makes it possible for learners to log on to an e-learning environment at any time and download documents or send messages to teachers or even peers. Students may spend more time refining their contributions, which are generally considered more thoughtful compared to synchronous communication. Another importance is it can take place anytime. It is the most commonly used e-learning where the content is available 24/7 and the teachers, students, and users can access it throughout on internet or intranet. Next, bookmarking. Most online e-learning courses allow bookmarking. If the learner is interrupted, he can bookmark his current location in the course. When he eventually returns to the learning module, he may be given the option to pick up where he left off or return to the beginning of the start over. Another one, useful for distance learning. For distance learning, with a multitude of learners in geographically distant locations, it can be very cost beneficial. An asynchronous learning module is consistent and easily updated and maintained. That means it can have a long shelf life, which can result in a low cost per student. Last but not the least importance is self-paced. Asynchronous learning is very beneficial for learning purposes as it gives an individual the liberty to read and study at one's own speed and one's own pace. So all the above that we've mentioned are the importance of asynchronous e-learning. But as we say, there are always pros and cons attached to every aspect. So there are certain limitations again attached with asynchronous e-learning. Let us discuss them. One, longer discussion. Since people from various backgrounds and different timings, they all appear together on the same portal, it is a time-consuming process. No timely feedback. Efforts are needed to give the feedback immediately. No strict deadlines. There are no deadlines. Whenever anyone is comfortable, they can log in and they can do it at their own pace. So there are no strict deadlines. Last, lack of continuity. A person might be interested in day 1, day 2, but the continuity, to maintain the continuity is a big challenge in this particular aspect. Having looked at the asynchronous and the synchronous e-learning styles, we have now come to a conclusion that we cannot really sustain only with one kind of learning. For example, only asynchronous or only synchronous learning. for us to have knowledge from all the areas and all the aspects and to be comfortable enough with our own culture, we need to really be dependent on both equally and give both of them equal chance. No matter, both have their own limitations, both have their own pros and cons, but they definitely are very valuable when it comes to learning and education field. So with this, all the best. Thank you.